Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is just a good example of on how terrible Twitch is and their massive failure of miscommunication. Now, it seems to me that Twitch is terrible, and that there's nothing really getting around that. And we have it to where VTubers are apparently having all their gifts from their fans being thrown away in the trash, which we'll be talking about further depth in that as well, including some gooning stuff that Dan Clancy has been doing with apparently young girls. So we're going to get into that. So without further ado, let's get to the end of this. So we have this here from Iron Mouse saying, I deeply apologize to all the VTubers and the fans who had meet and greets at the VTuber booth this year. It breaks my heart to know staff threw out all the gifts. I should have known better than to trust them and taken care of everything ahead of time. I am so sorry to everyone. So apparently, the Twitch staff are just throwing gifts away, and it's all bad. It's all absolutely bad, and it's either the only thing I can probably think of is they're actually throwing gifts away from VTubers, or it's the mere fact that or it's just a mere fact that they're stealing them from VTubers. I know the one thing that we could bring up too as well is that maybe that there are maybe potential lethal weapons or something into these said gifts, which is something else to take into consideration as well. But as we get further into this video, we end up finding out that it doesn't seem to be the case here. Since we have this here from another VTuber saying, Henya says, unfortunately, due to a miscommunication or misunderstanding, any gifts or presents given to my meet and greet staff were disposed of by the venue staff. I'm very sorry for anyone who gave me a gift. And says, Shoujo goes on to say here, dude, a handful of VTubers had their gifts thrown out. What the F were TwitchCon staff doing? So that just shows that this is an ongoing thing. Now, unless we could probably think that majority of the VTuber community or their fans are all psychopaths and, and all that doesn't make quite sense, all right? Because, I mean, if you have, of course, you may have a few bad eggs or whatever, depending on how big your audience is, etc. And, you may have some of those people be insane or radical and want to hurt somebody or hurt the VTuber specifically. But in this case, I don't see that happening here. I don't see to where like it seems a whole swath of people. We have more from like Grum saying multiple VTubers are reporting that TwitchCon staff threw out the gifts fans gave them. This is the worst con ever. And we have, of course, we had Iron Mouse, and then Lith the Bunny says, breaks my heart to know that the custom cinema roll I made for Iron Mouse was thrown out, along with a handwritten note I made for her. I also made a business card for my VTuber for her that I was pretty proud of. TwitchCon just keeps making things crappy for their creators. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, there's another thing going on. But another VTuber is saying, unfortunately, if you gave me a TwitchCon gift, the event lost them all. I really still appreciate the attending gifts, though. And it keeps on getting worse with Chibi Doki going out and saying, can anyone else from my meet and greet vouch for this? Nags, I were told to stop. I'm so incredibly sad if this is true. I was genuinely so excited to meet everyone. They told us to end for safety. So apparently what Rob Barono said, the stuff that happened yesterday was horrible, but they specifically said that if a creator wanted to meet everyone in the line, then they moved to a separate area. However, all of us were told to leave because you weren't feeling well and couldn't meet with more people. And Chibi says here that I never even told any of the staff I am sick. I'm so confused. I showed up and asked if I could wait for Nags before going out. That's the only time staff talked to me in the meet and greet area before telling us to cut the line short. I'm so sorry if this is true. And this is apparently ongoing here where they're doing more of the stuff to sign up for meet and greets. They said some people are saying they straight up kick us out. Well, this person serious. They straight up told us they were kicking us out because you couldn't talk anymore and we're ending early. We had seen the tweets, so we were like, oh, understandable. But then after the meet and greet, we met up and you said you did, and we kind of like, what the heck is going on? And it says, that is a straight up lie. I was feeling better and talking normally. I'm seriously so sorry. And this is an ongoing thing here. And this is a constant thing that is happening here with the VTubers. I don't think they maybe like VTubers very much, and I'll be honest, I'm not really a huge VTuber fan at all. I don't watch any of their stuff. If anything, it's usually by association to somebody that somebody I watch does. But I don't really watch VTubers. I don't watch Twitch. So all I'm doing is just trying to report on some of the things that Twitch has been doing, a very far leftist and insane website that seems to be treating not only their community terrible, but also their main head that brings them revenue, their streamers, like crap. And that shouldn't be done. Now, obviously, not all these streamers are all great, happy, and dory people, and they're not great people. But I digress. You still don't put these people at risk. It says here from also Chi Bidoki, says they also cut us short and we didn't get to meet everyone. I am so sorry. If you see me around the con, please feel free to say hi. So yeah, that's what they're doing. So they decided to cut things short with some of these VTubers, etc. And that goes. And this person says here, TC staff is all over the place on miscommunication between attendees and streamers. A friend of mine was given so much incorrect information, being originally told she could join your line after a separate meet and greet at the same time, but then removed entirely from the meet and greet area. She had a small gift bag of things in a clear bag she wanted to give you. She asked security if they could give it to you. They said yes, then proceeded to toss it into a nearby trash bin. When she confronted them about it, they told her it was a security risk and could have held an explosive. We were told to join the line again by one staffer, only for security to tell us that it was capped. We don't blame any of this on you. Staff clearly doesn't know what it's doing. So here's the thing, guys. I don't want to break this, very short in terms of what is going on. So if you have an explosive and you put an explosive anything that where there is a lot of debris, right? I mean, normally if you have an explosive, you put it anywhere on like a wall or something. Yeah, there's going to be like some kind of debris because it's explosive. But if you put it where there's an actual excessive amount of debris, such as a trash can, that trash can where the bomb explodes will explode the trash can into becoming shrapnel. And it doesn't matter if it's plastic or if it's metal or what have you, the pieces and whatever flies out from the trash can itself, like just the trash can itself, will become shrapnel. That's not even counting the actual stuff that's in the trash can that can also be considered shrapnel or dangerous stuff. So they took a place that was technically to be like, they took something that was dangerous and they put into something else that made it even more dangerous. So it doesn't make any sense. Like, they made something that was a safety hazard to a bigger safety hazard. What are we doing here? Like, this is just insane in every regard. Like, this is completely horrible. Like, this is not how you dispose of a bomb. You take the bomb, you give it to the people or staff or whatever, or to police to properly dispose of it, not put it in a trash can. So I don't think they even know what they're doing here. I don't think they're correct at all. And we have more with this because we have this where Skara reveals that Dan Clancy was hanging out with young women at TwitchCon, which is insane. Like, that's insane. So without further ado, guys, here's that clip.
This one was crazy. I heard Dan Clancy was out a lot of nights with young girls around him, which, whatever, man. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But like, it just felt like so... This con felt so fucking weird, man. Whatever. Like, last year I told myself I don't like TwitchCon, and so many people were like, "Why do you like TwitchCon?" And I'm like, "Well, how long do we have?" But even more problems end up popping up, and really, I think that this is going to be one of the last TwitchCons that people go to. The attendance this year was terrible.
Yeah, and it's not good. Like, he's actually meeting with young girls, okay? Now, I can understand, right? Like, I'm pretty sure when I am the age of 61, I'm pretty sure going to be like, yeah, those girls look pretty good, at 25 or 26. But it completely changes the dynamic when you have it, when they're actually there for, when you're the CEO of, like, a platform that has young, pretty women on it. I don't know what else to tell people. It's the same thing as like you're like a good example like Roblox, or if you're like an owner of like some type of kid place, and then you're just hanging around the kids like outside of that area. Like, it's super weird, and like always you're gonna draw conclusions like, okay, listen, this is weird, what are we doing here? Like, we need to get you investigated. And I'm not saying like these these young girls are like, are like 17, 16 or what have you. I don't think that they're that young. But again, it raises questions on what's going on at Twitch and Dan Clancy himself. And apparently there was some more of this as well. Because we have this Twitch CEO, Dan Clancy, didn't know he was on the stream and was caught on FaceTime hanging out with a girl at least 40 years younger than him.
There's Dan Clancy. Show me Dan Clancy again.
No.
Tell Dan Clancy we said what's.
There's no way. Wait, Dan Clancy, do you know who I am? Wait, let me ask. That's literally him. Wait, Dan Clancy.
Show Daniel Clancy.
Wait, Dan. Dude, I literally just saw Dan Clancy. On my soul, I did.
Yeah, so it's not a good look, especially when the guy immediately jumps out of frame. It's like, oh crap, gotta get out of frame. This doesn't look good. So yeah, it's not looking great here. And of course, this is Dan Clancy here. This is more of a hilarious thing, but it's still a little odd. Where he tried to pick up this girl and flip her around, but she ended up doing it to a pile driver. So yeah.
Alright guys, I am not a trained professional. Don't try this at home.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's a little bit like, that's just weird, man. Like, I don't know what we're doing. And we're going to go, final bit of it is Taylor Wren. So we have this here where Taylor Wren defends TwitchCon security measures. She says here that you guys all need to start living in reality. It's simply false to say that the security at TwitchCon was non-existent when it was so insanely strict that journalists couldn't even do their jobs and disabled people were forced to remove masks. I'm making a longer video on this. What happened to Emery was unacceptable, but to claim that the security was non-existent is just absolutely untrue. There were police all over, total surveillance, and couldn't roam anywhere. I think Brent put it well. Like, what is she talking about? The security was awful. Like, this wouldn't have happened to Emery at all if the security was actually good. And on top of that, you've seen multiple times where people were just walking across, just like the wristbands didn't work. They didn't authorize. Everybody's allowed to go through. And even Senna had something to say about this as well.
There were places it was really good. There were places it was lax. It's not as black and white as security is non-existent. And it's not as black and white as security is over the top. Because both things were not true. I did see one journalist say, security was so strict, journalists couldn't even do their job. Girl, you know damn well, all right? Like, let's keep it a buck. You know damn well they weren't that strict, okay? They did try to do better this year. You know damn well. Don't even try. I saw that. I said, yes, and what the hell were you reporting on the TwitchCon floor? You know what I mean? What were we doing? I said, there's no way. That's the same girl who got sued for doxing people on Twitter? Is that true? I don't want to be...
Yeah, so even she's like, okay, what was going on here? Like, so even the people that were at the Twitch event all knew on how bad it was, and the fact that you're pretty much disregarding Emmy's essay just for whatever reason being part of Twitch. Like, what are we doing here exactly? So yeah, first of all, don't trust Taylor Wren. She's a hack, terrible journalist. She doesn't know what she's doing. She is. Calling her a journalist is being nice. I guess you could say I'm more of a journalist than her, and I don't even go out and do stuff half the time. I just sit here on the news and tell you what's going on. That's pretty much what my idea, what I'm doing, and give you my opinion. But outside of that, the insanity is just real here. So yeah, guys, TwitchCon's a failure. Twitch is just a terrible website in general. Don't go to it and don't support these people because obviously Twitch doesn't have their crap in order to get anything done. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.